According to the Appalachian Regional Commission, the Appalachian region is a 205,000 square mile region that follows the spine of the Appalachian Mountains from southern New York to northern Mississippi. It includes all of West Virginia and parts of 12 other states: New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Ohio, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. Appalachia has long been associated with negative stereotypes. Most people who have not had contact with the region think that all Appalachians are poor, ignorant, and isolated from all modern luxuries. The history of poor representation of Appalachian culture goes back to the 1800s. Thanks to the current media, the image of ignorant, poverty-stricken white folks still saturates popular culture. However, Appalachia is a land rich in art, tradition, and history. The unique culture that the region offers can be appreciated by all. This presentation will address the negative stereotype, how the stereotype originated, and if it is an accurate portrayal of the Appalachian people. This negative stereotype has an impact on how the Appalachian region is viewed not only by fellow Americans but by the entire world. Most often associated with the folks from this region are the words hillbilly and redneck. UrbanDictionary.com defines a hillbilly as a person who lives in a remote, rural area in the South, often in the Appalachian or sometimes the Ozark Mountains, and is therefore isolated, somewhat out of touch with modern culture. The definition also describes the hillbilly stereotype as a white Southerner who owns a shotgun, goes barefoot, wears a worn-out floppy hat, drinks moonshine and whiskey, which he makes himself, plays the banjo or fiddle, drives old beat-up pickup trucks, has bad teeth, is poorly educated, has a long beard, wears worn-out clothes and hand-me-downs, and is happy and content with what they have. Even Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines a hillbilly as a person from a backwoods area. Another word often associated with people from the region is redneck. UrbanDictionary.com defines redneck as a mildly offensive term for a lower-class white person from the southeastern United States. Derives from someone who spent a lot of time on manual labor outside and so received a red neck from the sun. Merriam-Webster's dictionary also defines a redneck as a white member of the southern rural laboring class. In a Yahoo Answers forum, anonymous users gave their personal views of the stereotypical Appalachian resident. One user said they have strong backs and weak minds. Another said they are very poor and uneducated white people. Still another said they are uneducated, racist, poor, and have some incestuous relationships. Another said they don't have shoes, indoor plumbing, or electricity. They are illiterate and live in homes with dirt floors. Now that we understand what the stereotype is, let's look at how it originated. Why do people see Appalachians this way? Many of the stereotypes that exist today were first widely distributed in A Strange Land and a Peculiar People, an essay by color writer Will Wallace Henry. At the time, he and his fellow color writers wrote and sold many stories about the Appalachian region because they exaggerated the facts and romanticized the stories of the everyday Appalachian. Since then, the nation has had a continual fascination with the region. In the early 40s and 50s, the comic strips Snuffy Smith and Lil Abner started running in newspapers all over the country, further publicizing the negative Appalachian stereotype. Both of these comic strips portrayed Appalachians as uneducated, poor, and uncivilized. In the 60s and 70s, American television featured the Appalachian region frequently. Popular programming included shows such as The Beverly Hillbillies and Hee Haw. The Beverly Hillbillies took a fictional family from Appalachia and followed their mishaps in the sophisticated world of Beverly Hills. The popular TV variety show Hee Haw showcased skits of stereotypical Appalachian behavior and hillbilly lifestyles. During this time, the film industry also featured the depiction of Appalachian Americans. However, the 1972 movie Deliverance would make the public think twice before venturing into uncharted Appalachian wilderness. The film is about four Atlanta businessmen who travel to southern Appalachian mountains and encounter friction with the stereotypical, inbred, poor, and uneducated locals. Deliverance pushed the envelope at the time of its debut for its scenes of male rape. The film won various awards and is still recognized as a tour de force. But the people of Appalachia are still suffering under the stigma produced by the movie. In 1993, an updated movie version of the Beverly Hillbillies was released, and the 1999 documentary American Hollow also served to draw more negative attention to the region. The popularity of the redneck/hillbilly TV programming has returned in this generation. Now, reality TV shows such as Hillbilly Handfishin', Moonshiners, and My Big Redneck Vacation have given the rest of the nation a reason to pay attention to the Appalachian region once again. The entertainment industry keeps coming back to the Appalachian people because the rest of the nation loves to see the stereotypical country bumpkin. And this also makes them money. The advertising industry has long known the correlation between the hillbilly image and profits. When the Mountain Dew Company sold its first soda in 1940, its mascot was a man named Billy the Hillbilly. Today, if you visit the touristy parts of the Appalachian region, such as Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, you will see many places with a mountaineer on their logo. You can also pay to see a stereotypical Appalachian dinner show. The Hatfield and McCoy dinner show advertises itself as feud and feast and family fun. Over time, the media portrayal of the Appalachian people has shaped how the rest of the nation and the world view the region. Now that we have seen how the media exposure has affected the stereotype, let's see if it is an accurate image. John B. Redder, in his book Appalachian Folkways, says Snuffy Smith, Lil Abner, the Beverly Hillbillies, and the Dukes of Hazzard represent Appalachia about as much as the cartoon Jetsons represent NASA's space exploration. The media and popular culture has spread the negative stereotype of a pitiful Appalachia for over a century, but the problems that face the region are issues that face the rest of the nation. Poverty, drugs, and a lack of education are topics that all states and regions have to address. The difference with Appalachia is the pervasive nature of these issues. There has never been a time of abundant prosperity. Appalachian culture has always been one based on getting by. According to the Appalachian Regional Commission, in 1965, 1 in 3 Appalachians lived in poverty. The average poverty rate from 2005 to 2009 was 15.4%, close to the national average. Today, the isolation that the mountains provide are also barriers to economic development. With employers moving overseas, access to employment shrinks daily. This leads to a lack of financial and educational resources. Some Appalachians have turned to moonshining or dealing pills to make ends meet, but not all Appalachians are pillbillies or moonshiners. In this region, the economy is based on hard labor, and education has not been a priority until recently. In 1980, the majority of central Appalachian counties had a high school graduation rate of 25.3% through 40.2%. In 2000, the same counties have increased the graduation rate to 49.2% through 60.7%, lower than the national average of 80.4%, but still a marked increase. Despite the negative stereotypes splashed across the news and dispersed by the media, Appalachia is a region full of culture, art, and history. The vast majority of Appalachian residents are educated, sober, hard-working, and family-oriented people. They enjoy the outdoors, have shoes, live with electricity and indoor plumbing. They do not all live in trailers, eat roadkill, engage in sexual activity with animals, or brutalize outsiders. They appreciate the past, live in the present, and plan for the future. Appalachians have a bad rap for many different reasons, but the easiest way to disprove the stereotype is to visit the region and see for yourself.